Hi guys! So today I am working on the second half for this illustration, which is actually the second page for my graphic novel. So I'll go ahead and have a link to the first video in case you missed it, which has the line art, and today we are doing the colors. So when I started out coloring this, I tried really hard to think more in a simplified color palette, which is something that I've mentioned before, where I really want to try being a lot more controlled about how many colors I have within these more complicated illustrations, and I'm hoping that it'll be able to streamline my process so that I can get more correct colors from the beginning as opposed to ending up at the same place but taking a lot longer to get there. So I tried. I think in the end I wasn't as successful as I was hoping to be. And I think that that's just something that the more I try to think this way as I'm working on these types of illustrations, the better I'll be at actually making that happen and making it work for me. So hopefully I'll get better at colors in this type of an environment more and more as I do more of these pages. And honestly, I have a lot of pages to go. And this is a skill that I would really like to be able to develop because I'm going to be doing a lot of more complicated illustrations that are not necessarily graphic novel pages, that this same type of thinking about color will be extremely helpful for me. So I'm excited to figure it out and, really just get better at colors and working straight into colors. So as I started blocking in the different shapes for this piece and kind of the values that I had basically figured out for how I wanted it to look, it started getting a lot more chaotic looking and really hard to see exactly what was supposed to be going on and what the eye was supposed to be looking at, as opposed to just being conflicted by all these different details and things that were all equally as visually impactful. So it was really hard to just see the focal point that I was trying to get across. And that's something that I feel like I kind of fought with throughout the piece. And I'm not sure if fought is the right word, because I do feel like it was one of those processes that is good, and it was something that I was actively working on throughout the piece of trying to figure out different things to solve that issue. So yeah, I think it was good that I tried lots of different approaches to make that work. And some of them worked better than others, but in the end, I feel like it's a lot more successful. But it was good to kind of see why it wasn't working and some of the things that I could do to solve that type of an issue. So I think the thing that actually made it so chaotic and hard to see what was going on was that the background elements were really coming forward a lot more, and they were telling the eye that they were just as important as all the elements that were in the foreground. So when you look at it, it's hard to see what's actually in the foreground, what's in the background, and where things are actually spatially set up. So, yeah, like I said, I tried a lot of different things. I tried having darker colors for the things that were in the background so that they would fade back a little bit more and have a lighter value for that larger plane that's in front and for the figures and for that catwalk. So that was one of the things that I tried. And then the thing that ended up really fixing it, I think, and making it work was that I went back into the liner and I lightened the liner of the background elements only to more of this teal color so that it was a lot more faded, and by doing that it makes the contrast between the line art and the colors lower, so they're closer together in value, which is actually something that happens in the real world. When you're looking at atmospheric perspective, contrast goes down a lot more, and objects that are closer to you, they have a lot more contrast, and there's more of a sharp change in value between them. So once I changed the line art layer, or the line art colors for the background, it really helped push them back to where they belonged as opposed to being much more in the forefront. So I think that was really the thing that ended up fixing the issue the most. And I feel like I ended up learning a little bit about myself and how I think when I'm doing more mechanical based illustrations, as opposed to ones that are a little bit more human and organic. And that's that I think that I actually think very narrowly about what colors I can use. I think that I was thinking very desaturated and gray tone colors for this because most of the stuff was very hard and mechanical. And then I added a couple layers of overlay with this light greenish color, and it affected the background so that it was this really saturated misty green turquoisey color, and it just suddenly gave the piece this atmosphere and dimension that it was really lacking before. So as soon as I did that, it kind of clicked that I was doing this piece in a way that I really don't want it to be. I want it to look like a piece that I'm excited and inspired by, and that involves color. So I'm excited to realize that I was thinking that way, because that means that I can actively work better in the future of not putting myself in this little box when I'm working on more mechanical, hard images. And I actually ended up loving working on this sound effect speech bubble. I guess it's not really a bubble, it's kind of sharp for a bubble, but it was really fun. I enjoyed the fact that I could really play with this. It didn't have to be something that looked like it was line arted, or it wasn't something that was already included in the line art. So it was something that was on top of the image, and it was meant to pop out and draw the eye and look different enough that you would see it and see what was going on with it. So I had a lot more fun with this one, where it kind of gave me a little bit more freedom with how it looked and how it interacted with the rest of the illustration. And I'm excited to include elements like this in all my other pages. And not just with words and with sound effects and stuff like that, but just find different ways that I can add accents to the illustrations that are going on, so that it pops and it makes it more visually interesting. So I'm excited about that. I think it'll be really fun. So that is about it for this page. There's definitely a few things that I feel like it would have made it a lot stronger, but because my project for getting all these pages done is so large and I do have a deadline, I really do need to find the balance between when I need to go back and fix things and when it's time to just cut the ties and move on to the next page. And I think right now is the time to move on and start on the next page, so I can keep moving forward on that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can catch all my future art videos, and I will see you at my next one. Bye!